If you struggle with selecting art or making art look good after your room is designed, this is the YouTube for you. We're at Treehouse today and we are excited to walk you through what we chose, how we chose it, and how to use art and make it work.
We're going to talk about 4 things in this episode to help you in your art journey. 1 is where to find art. 2 is how to select budget-friendly art pieces. 3 is how to make it match your space, often with framing. And the 4th one is things that you may not consider art that we do consider art. And we're going to show you some fun things in this video.
Ooh, baby, stay tuned for the end of this video because we are going to give you 2 designer tips of how to style your bookcase to look like a designer.
So selecting art can feel really overwhelming, and oftentimes you have things in your family, or you can find things at a vintage shop for really cheap. It doesn't have to be an artist that you commission, or waiting for the perfect piece. Sometimes it's just finding what you have and pulling it out, or getting grandma's painting and reframing it, right?
So something I like to think about first is, where am I needing art and what is the size of that space? And what is the item that I have? It might be a picture, kids art, or a map. What size is it and where can I use it?
Yeah.
So oftentimes we have to first identify the space.
Yeah.
But when you're out and about, sometimes you're inspired.
So in the office, we found this piece from my husband's grandma.
Oh, wow.
And it was framed like this. And because this bookcase is modern, we liked the
mix of old
and new. And
Yeah.
really, I think that's where the secret sauce of design comes into play. So this is another reminder to just work with what you have. You don't have to go out and buy some fancy oil painting to have a big piece of art on your wall. This was a gift, and we just simply put it in a really cheap frame that matches the book casing here in the office, and we think it works pretty well.
So a lot of times when we're selecting art, we think about sentimental items. And sentimental items, the whole thing of design is it evokes an emotion. And so if you can collect an item and you say, this is sentimental, whether it be an object or a piece of art, how do I display this? And that is art. That's part of the process of selecting art that works for you.
Gallery walls can be really hard. And the way that I go about gallery walls is to find pieces that I love, mix different mediums, like paint, like prints, just go over time. Like I started with just a few pieces on the wall, and then over a few years, it started to expand. My goal would be to get this to the ceiling and get it to the floor because I love that kind of look. So let's look at where I found these pieces. My team made this for me at Nike. Diploma from my sorority, who needs that? A dear friend painted this for me, painted it myself. Minted.com, diploma in fine art. That's why there's so much art. I don't remember where it's from, but it's cute and it's small and it fills a gap between 2 frames.
How to select budget-friendly art. The first thing that comes to mind is flea market, Goodwill, and who knows what street markets of wherever you live, USA. That's hard. It's hard to have an eye that can say, this piece would look amazing in my office or kids' room or above my fireplace. You have to know what we talked about, which is scale, and we have to invest in things and bring it home and try it. Remember, pieces can be altered. So if you find a really tiny piece of art that doesn't fit your space, but it makes you feel good and the colors are right, what do? Frame it bigger. Selecting art is a process. I think the more you do it, budget friendly, the better you will be at it. Wendy, what are some pieces here that are super budget friendly that you might have found at Goodwill or a flea market?
Again, a lot of things came from family members. They passed away and nobody wanted these weird, who wants like a weird fishing box?
But see, a lot of people will overlook this. What the hell is this CBD? Maybe CBD's on my brain. Trout Creek bait box. But that's the whole magic and design eye of collecting those small pieces and making them tell a story. We've got an empty spot. Name 3 places right now you'd go to get budget-friendly art to fill this space.
I would go to Goodwill. And if you go to Goodwill, you have to plan to go every other day for a month to find a really good treasure. A local thrift shop, possibly multiple thrift shops in your area. And I would also go through your grandma and grandpa's closet or your parents' closet or the depths of things you've kept around in a cabinet that you're not using.
And pop by estate sales. Do a drive-by and say, could I use that? Does that have any color? Does it have a finish or a texture, wood, metal, or some sort of texture that you're lacking in your space that could add dimension? And is it in a price point that is not silly? And negotiate, dude. Say, hey, this little basket or lure box is listed for 10 bucks. I'll give you 5 and walk out of there and have cash on you. A lot of this stuff is collected. It's using your eye, it's trial and error, and it's laying it out in different ways until it looks good.
The simplest way to go about thrifting is to really think about what catches your eye that you love. What are you doing?
I'm wondering why I'm still holding it.
But truly, like, if you like the shape and you like the color and you like the texture, it's going to look great on your bookcase because it's something you love. So when you think about art, I know we talk about this all the time, but it's mixing different mediums of art is where the magic sauce is. So instead of picking another printed picture or another painting, we opted for a textured piece of art over this bed that fits the space really well.
Yeah, I think some things to keep in mind are size, height of your ceilings, the space above, your bed and how much space you have and how long it is. If this piece was, a lot narrower, it would look dinky and dumb. So scaling and selecting texture are some things to keep in mind. Ding, ding, ding. Don't forget, wallpaper is art too. Although it can be a little trendy to do single wall wallpaper or accent wall wallpaper, this really works because it helps with the transition of spaces, color, and adds a ton of art to the space.
Here we are in the primary bathroom at Treehouse, and we're gonna tell you how we took this piece of art that we found thrifting and tied it into the existing materials. So the house has white oak flooring, so does the bedroom, but the adjacent bathroom, this one, has walnut everywhere. So how do you make the bathroom and the bedroom match? Well, we just pulled the white oak flooring from the bedroom into the framing that we did for this piece. So you can see it from the bedroom and it ties the whole look together. You can mix woods, it's all good. So this painting, the reason we loved it when we were thrifting is because it has some blue in it that pulls the blue tile in from the bathroom, and it has a little bit of yellow and brown, which pulls from the woods. So it doesn't have to be overthought in what art you're finding, but try to pull from the colors that you have if possible. So this is an example of how to make art look good in your space. What's unique about this space is we have different color frames, but we tied in the colors from the art. So this is kids' art, and it has red and green, and so we chose to do the frames in red and green to tie it all together. And really, framing is about balance and having some repeating elements. So these frames are similar, and these frames are similar, although different colors.
My 2 cents is if you wanna size this out, what can you do to prepare? Blue tape the wall with the frames that you think you're gonna make and plan ahead. Take a picture of that and know your dimensions before you start framing.
If you're working on a gallery wall or you have just a plain wall in your house that you need to put some frames up, figure out what size you need and check out Luma Prints. Luma Prints is the most affordable frame shop we've found online. It's super easy. You just take a digital photo from your phone and you upload it, and it's super affordable. It's really fast shipping. The frames are great quality. It's what made our gallery wall come together.
Again, choosing objects and having them work as art is a skill set, but hopefully with talking through some of this stuff, you guys can have some courage to go out there and select some crazy objects. The homeowner has a wood carved piece, it's cute, it definitely works, but when you add color and something that evokes a memory of the past, and now they look at it and it makes them feel good, it makes them smile, and adding it to this object makes a complete statement. So mixing objects and mixing color is all about taking chances, and you can do it. Give it a try, set it up, walk past it a few times, see if it's funny and it works for you, and if it does work for you, you did it, it's done. So if you're like me and selecting art for a gallery wall or picking the perfect object from an estate sale is intimidating, start with fun hooks and display your cowgirl hats, baseball caps, or other items. Now, start with a cute hook. We got these from Etsy, but there's tons of hooks out there that could be mixing metals, stone, they could be brass, all sorts of different hooks you can get. So when a hat is missing, it still looks cute. Hooks are a commitment. So if you want to protect the wood or the drywall in your room, you can actually get hooks that are adhesive or sticky or Velcro, lots of different ways to apply the hooks if you don't want to penetrate the wall. And we chose pink in the room because, of course, what are we trying to do? We're trying to make this art match with existing accessories or styling items. This is such a unique idea. She chose to display art on the back wall of the bookcase. So smart. Tell us about what you did here.
Yeah, so it's really about high, low, and front and back. So you want the bookcase to be as dimensional as possible. So putting it up on the wall gets that height, puts it in the back, and then you can pull something small up to the front, like a little candle or these little tchotchkes from Amsterdam.
3 things I see on this bookshelf that you can replicate at home is the bookshelf in this case has a color, and find a frame or something artistic that brings in that color.
Polaroids are really popular, and this is what we did instead of a guest book at our wedding, was a Polaroid photo gallery.
So it's fabric, push pins, pictures, the frame. Good luck.
This is another unexpected object that we found at a farmer's market, and we thought, oh, what are we gonna do with this? But it's so fun. It adds a lot of texture and activity to the corner of this room. Found objects that you might not think are art, but they are. How about this cat tree as a hand-me-down? Who doesn't want
I don't want
a cat tree from
don't want a cat
1960
tree.
of every cat you've ever owned?
I don't want a cat tree. I'm sorry, Betsy, and I'm sorry, Diana. I do not want a cat tree.
Other pieces of art that may not be considered as art, a felt plant.
It's texture, so it adds something different. Candlesticks, also with fun shape, translucent, kind of fragile looking and delicate. Again, treating it as art. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Are you ready for the designer's tips? I've got one, Wendy's got one, of how to style your bookcase like a designer. The secret is give your eye space to move in the area that you're styling. And that means fill in the gaps. So you'll have an object here and there's a space underneath. You might have books here and a space above. An object, space, picture frame, space. Are you with me? Are you following? It's every other, have space. Instead of what it would look like is here, see how there's no space, okay? So that's the designer tip that people don't think about.
And the second one,
you go.
And the second one is make sure to mix old and new and do front to back. So we've already talked about that in this episode, but truly, that's what is the magic sauce. So you have something old with something new. You have something pushed to the back, something to the back, and then something to the front. That is what's gonna pull everything together and give you that curated design flair.
We hope you learned something today about how to select art for your home. This is hard stuff, but hopefully some of the tips that we shared today will make it easier for you. How to find art budget friendly, what we consider art, where to find art, and how to make it work with your home. It takes courage and taking chances, and it's a process over a long period of time. So share your stories with us. We want to hear from you how this video helped you at home.
Yes, so please comment below. If you have any questions or you want to know where we got things, we try to put everything on our shop page, but if it's not there, we will get back to you with where we found things. Good luck to you. Welcome to Treehouse. That's the poop owl. Did you hear that? That's his name.
Poop owl. Okay.